Okay, good morning. It's been a while since I made a video. Usually while I'm driving to work, I like to learn. Baruch Hashem, I finished Shas. Although I learned Nida before I learned Brachas this time around. So I want to finish Nida again before I make a big Siyum. On Simchas Torah, I remember in Yeshiva they told us when you're dancing with the Torah, you can daven for anything. So they told us davening you should finish Shas. And 15 years later, more, 20 years later, not 20 years, 17 years, 16 years later, and here I am, and it's just like an automatic thing. Baruch Shalom, I should finish Shas, and then I was like, again, meaning I finished once, I mean, I really learned it so well, no, but whatever, at least I said all the words, that's something, So Baruch Hashem, it's a big simcha. What I really want to talk about was what's going on around us. While we're enjoying our holiday, and I saw Ben Shapiro. He was writing, oh, what a beautiful and holy holiday we enjoyed, and then he scrolls down and sees what did I miss over these 2 days, and it's like he scrolls after he was dancing with the scrolls, So in any event, we try our best, and we see, it's like the Samarov said, we're just right back to Aleph. We did all this Avodah, and we're really just starting. One of my institutionalized people that I deal with, a former pastor actually, and he told me yesterday, that Herman Walk, Soll gesund sein, Kanaino Hara Yid from 103, still writing, still. And the Shemer term mitzvahs, we see it's a gevakta lange board, Sekonai Megudel, and Herman Wolk, Soll gesund sein, he wrote, one of his stories he wrote, there's a Yid, in the Heim, in the Shtetl, he said, Baruch Shalom, if I have too much a good decree, maybe I'll be a driver, maybe I'll be arrogant, but if it's too bad, then I won't be able to survive. Just give me a mediocre one so I can stay humble, but it's still, the thing is that's something, but the truth of the matter is, we should strive for the best. We should strive for a very good decree, and a very good decree also means, is in Ruchnius more than is in Gashmius. Like I remember over this, the Tisha B'Av video from Chavetz Chaim Heritage, I forgot which speaker it was. He said, there's a machlekes in the Gemara, Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Yeshua, of when was the world created. Was it created in Tishrei or Nisan? And so the maskana is that it was created in thought in Tishrei and indeed in Nisan. If that's the case, what are we making a big deal on Tishrei, if Rosh Hashanah, if really the world was created physically in Nisan? The answer is the creation and thought is the main creation, and the spiritual world and the intellectual world, the psychic world, these are the main worlds, and the things that we can touch and feel, they're important, they're not nothing, but they're secondary to the things that really matter. That's been that theme that I've been hearkening back to again and again, that heaven and hell are the same place. I saw again the same story was in The Simpsons this week, the new season of The Simpsons, and Homer Simpson at the end, he's in heaven, and he said, oh, it's so boring here, I want to go somewhere else, send me back to another Gilgal, I'll be a turtle, and again, for someone who's so Megusham, that's why a person who's Megushim, he'll come back again to the Gilgal. The Ariya Kodesh says, if you don't finish Shas at least once in your life, you're going to come back another Gilgul. And I remember a friend of mine told us to a Rebbe, and he said, "No, I'll see you again in the next Gilgul." Not a real Chassidish Rebbe, but someone like me who made himself into a Chassidish Rebbe. Someone we're very close with. We were, and I don't have a lot of time to talk, but I really want to talk about what's going on in the Senate. And I hear Hugh Hewitt on the radio. He should be well. He's talking about, how this is McCarthyism. And I've come to a point where I feel like this malignment of McCarthyism, which I understand that, they went overboard a little bit, but that was in that time and that place. Now we see, with who the current Democrat Party is, McCarthy was 100% right. I mean, the communists have infiltrated every level of society. The Democrat Party, even some parts of the Republican Party, Catholic Church, Jewish, liberal Jewish synagogues, a lot of other churches, parts of the Islamic community, and of course, it goes without saying, most of the atheist community, although there are some libertarian atheists, and really great, secular libertarians, like Austin and Penn Jillette, and we could be thankful for these people and have fellowship with them, even if our ideas and theology are a little different. That doesn't really matter that much. It matters, again, even though as far as we said, that what matters is in the realm of thought and spirit, and that's the real world. But the thing is, we're working in this world, especially, and so when we're working in this world, we also have to operate within this world and find that balance between the spiritual and the materialistic. And so there's certain people, the fact of the matter is that those people are extremely spiritual people. It's just a different type of spirituality. It's not our type of spirituality, but it's something. Spirituality just means meaningful life. But really even more so, I would go back even further in history and say the 17th Amendment has to go. We were never supposed to be having direct election of senators. That was not what our founders intended. And the circus that the Senate, which was supposed to be the more prestigious of the bicameral legislature, the more prestigious house, it's become a circus. It's become a joke. We don't need it. What we need is representation of the states, not just another congressman or woman, who instead has a 6-year, seat instead of a 2-year seat. There's a reason why it was designed this way, and when the progressives and the postmodernists destroyed this country, part of the way they did it was, and again, this is what the president is saying: "Make America great again." And part of the greatness of America was its founding. And I don't mean that it was founded by people who owned slaves. If those people were alive today, they would not be owning slaves. Jefferson never wanted to own slaves. He was stuck with that. It was something that happened against his will. And we got to remember, it was the Republicans who freed the slaves, and there was never any Republican who owned a slave. People say, well, Ulysses S. Grant owned slaves. That was back when he was a Democrat. That's before he converted. And it wasn't one that it was one that his wife inherited. And like Kanye West, he said, who's enslaving us? The Democrats. And they're really enslaving all of us. We're all victims of the Democrats. So, we should stop seeing this nonsense, attacking. We should have the proper kavanah, the proper kavanah, and we should be zeichet to a good gebencht yor. And I think when Kavanaugh gets approved, that'll be a simon that we actually had a very good decree this year. Today's the yard side of Levi Yitzchak Berdichever, who was always our defense attorney before the court in heaven. And in the schus of the Levi Berdichever, I say to the Kruler of the schus of meeting, and that my ancestors, the Rebbetzin of the Chenga Rebbetzin, who's Moshe Arya's daughter, and the Baba, the Kruler Rebbetzin, we got brachas from the Berdichever, and the schus of the Heilige Berdichever, we should all be gebenched taka with a good gebenched year. And in a certain sense, yesterday Isru Chag is the Yahrzeit of the Ribnitzer, and then today's the Yahrzeit of the Berdichever. We're extending the Yom Noraim into it's like a Tosefes Yontiv, and so we should be zeichet to all kinds of good brachas and good things. Good gebenched year.